Gaming's virtual horror con. So I'm so happy for everyone to be streaming in right now. This is one of my favorite games, and you're getting ready for some investigatory feminine horror. So let's get ready. Let's join us for the haunting. And so I am Alex, they, them, and I'll be your groundskeeper for tonight. And so I'm joined by lovely folks here, all these wonderful players, and they are playing different aspects of the bride. And we will see how the bride sort of moves through this world and as Bluebeard's bride. So first I have is Elise.
Hi, my name is Elise. I am playing the witch. Are we going to do all the character building part now?
Or... just your player.
Okay, yeah, I'm the witch.
Awesome, thank you. And then we have Rosie.
Hi, I'm Rosie. I will be playing the Animus.
Awesome, Persephone.
Hello, I'm Persephone, and I will be playing the Virgin.
Amazing. And next.
Hi, I'm Crystal, and I'll be playing the Mother.
Amazing, amazing, awesome. And so to get everyone started, first, I will be reading the fairy tale of Bluebeard's Bride to get everyone acquainted. And then you'll be all introduced to the aspects of the bride. We are playing one character, the bride, but each of these individuals are an aspect. Think of it as sort of like an inside out, but horror. Once upon a time, there was a very lovely girl, and she came from a poor family. They lived on the outskirts of town, her mother and her brother. And one day, a gentleman came into town, a nobleman looking for a wife. He was very ugly. His beard was blue, and there were rumors that he had wives before, but no one knew what happened to them. But he saw the girl and saw how beautiful she was and asked her family for her hand in marriage. He said he would take care of her family, and so she said yes. She married the man with the blue beard, and she went to his large house with him. Once they were there, he gave her all the keys to the house and told her to go explore. Look through every drawer, open every door. It's your house. But do not go into my private chamber. And then left on a business trip. So the girl went and looked at all the jewels and fine fabrics and all the beautiful things she never had at home. And she kept looking at that door. And finally, her curiosity got the better of her. So she put her key in the door and opened it. And inside were the bodies of all his former brides. And so she put her key in the door and opened it. And inside were the bodies of all his former brides. Now, there's a couple versions of the fairy tale, but one of the more common ones is that at that point, Bluebeard shows up and says, "I told you not to go in here. You should have listened to me." And then raises his sword to behead her, at which point her brother comes in and saves her, and Bluebeard runs away. In other versions, it's her mother that saves her, but in the original version, she dies. The difference between this fairy tale and the game that we're playing is that we will be able to recreate it with all these different aspects and all the sisters here. And so they'll be in search of this house that they'll be going to with Bluebeard. Okay, so this is the time to introduce everyone's character. And we'll start again with Elise.
So I am playing the witch aspect of the bride. For the witch's wedding prep, it asks a few questions. The first one is, what is the bride's hair like? And we have waist length, dirty blonde, light brown hair. It's in an elaborate pattern of large braids that are pretty, but if you knew what you were looking at, they're not quite right. The braids have been in for a few days and strands are starting to fall out. There's some twigs, little bits of small flowers and things like that stuck in the braid as well. Because the witch likes to find quiet, hidden places to sit and relax. And her braids take the brunt of what she finds herself in. How others like her to wear her hair it'd be in a much neater, much straighter braided pattern. Braids are a source of pride in her village, and it's a sign of accomplishment and your age and your marriageability. So her mother is not very pleased with her messy braids that are full of bits of twig and leaf and falling out.
Mm.
With what the witch is leaving behind by becoming Bluebeard's bride, she is leaving behind her mother's expectations and the way that those weigh on her and constrain her. Her mother has a very sure idea of who she should be, and she is not that person. When, for the question of when you first met, what loving gesture did Bluebeard make that won you over? The witch was handed a bouquet of dried lavender that was from Bluebeard's gardens in the summer. The bride, we have a large family, including a few brothers who are not well acquainted with the bathtub. So the gift of lavender was not only beautiful and slightly extravagant, but also incredibly functional in her crowded family home. For a gift that the witch gave to Bluebeard, she gave him a caged sparrow, little bird that used to live outside her window, and she would feed it and talk to it. And she caged it and gave it to Bluebeard. One, so that he could maybe enjoy its company, but also it could be handy to know where there is a small bird that can't get away at some point. And for the final question, the witch had to decide if she trusts Bluebeard or not, if she is suspicious of him, and she does not entirely trust him. And working with her brothers in the shop and finding herself in hidden places, she's overheard how men speak when women are not around, when their wives or their daughters are not around. And she does not trust men at all because of the things that she has heard. She also has two strong bonds within the brides, within the sisters. The first one being that she finds the virgin to be a very useful tool. She is able to use the virgin's exuberance and youth to help get things that she wants. One day she needed to put a rich woman in town in her place. So she convinced the virgin to help her break into the rich woman's house, where they played with all of her things and tried on her dresses and her jewels and pocketed a comb with a bit of hair on it. The butler found us and kicked us out, but I assured the virgin it would be all right. It was. Her other strong bond is with the mother. She feels that the mother draws evil to herself and needs to be protected. The mother is very generous, very kind, very giving of herself and her time and her resources and her energy and her thoughts. And that allows people to take advantage of her. And the witch feels that it's her job to help people understand they can't do that. There was a neighbor who took advantage of the mother's generosity and used it to get more than she needed. And I made sure that the neighbor had a very rich cousin out of town call her away and never came back.
Thank you, witch. Okay.
Thank you.
We have the Animus next.
All right. So my first wedding prep question is, what are the bride's hands like? And our hands are long and delicate, but the tips are calloused from a lot of knitting, which is part of the family business. We knit the best seafaring caps because we live in a village right by the sea. So we have those characteristic calluses on the tips of our fingers. And when someone holds those hands, in response to the second question, what weakness do you give away when others hold your hand? they feel us hold tight and then release rather quickly. We want the contact, but we are scared of that longing, that want. So they might gather that from holding our hand. What are you leaving behind from your provincial life to become Bluebeard's bride? We are leaving behind family constraints. We are leaving a crowded home that we share with 3 brothers and a lot of little sisters, and the expectations that people have that we'll marry, like the swineherd or the gong farmer, because we haven't been married yet, so there's got to be someone around. And the assumption that we would be a part of the family business forever. When you first met, what loving gesture did Bluebeard make that won you over? The first time he held our hand, he felt the calluses on our fingers. So he gave us some beautiful thimbles, like very elegantly carved of antler. So the most beautiful things that we own. And they're also, again, functional. They protect our fingers when we knit. What gift did you present to Bluebeard before the wedding? Why did you choose it? I gave him a riding cloak that I had knitted, and it was one of the most beautiful and elaborate things I had ever made. It ombre, sort of light gray around the hood that darkens on the way down to a deep blue to hide any dirt from riding, with a thick, rich lining to keep him warm on his travels. Finally, do you trust your husband? Of course. I wouldn't leave with him if I didn't. It's not so bad here that I'd risk danger and an unhappy marriage. Regarding my sisterly bonds, you hold yourself apart from your sisters, but the witch is the only one who soothes you. Explain a time they calmed your rage. Our youngest brother, Edmund, put mud in our shoes. A harmless prank that's amusing to a young boy, but was a total pain to clean up, and I was very mad. I wanted to act, and the witch told me, shh, wait, we'll get him, just wait. And we did. The witch kept an eye out, and we were in the bushes, and she saw a cockroach and slid it down the back of his shirt while he was talking to a girl. And that was very rewarding. I'm glad we waited. And I forgot to add my notes on my other bond, which I know is to the Virgin. I am envious of the Virgin, and I cannot compare to her because I am jealous of the way she can see the world, with clarity and a bit more faith in what's to come than I can. And that's the Animus.
Okay, thank you, Animus. Let's move to the Virgin.
The Virgin. So, my question, the first one, is what do the bride's eyes look like? They're brown so deep it is nearly black, the color of damp earth in the early morning before the sun rises. They are round, deep set, and filled with a longing to see all the world can give. How do others know you want them when they gaze into your eyes? How could they not? We wear our emotions, our thoughts, our desires like most would wear hairpins or a cloak. We see with an open curiosity, looking at the shells on the seaside and counting the lines of their markings, or climbing trees at dawn to view the ocean above the seashore. In church, we don't see divinity in the words, but in the song, flitting about golden statues and stained glass. We take in the world and hand it back with our gaze. What are you leaving behind from your provincial life to become Bluebeard's bride? Memories of a father long past who disappeared into the mists of a sea long ago. The laughter of siblings, the lines of thatched roofs, of whitewashed walls in the spring. We left behind the familiar for an adventure we didn't know, for something new to compare to familiar sights. We left, taking our wanderlust with us. When you first met, what loving gesture did Bluebeard make that won you over? A song, sung in the early morning that woke us with the dawn. It reached through the glass windows dirtied by children's hands, the words unfamiliar, the voice unlike the preacher in our choir or our mother's sharp warble. It was warm and dark with a thrum that trembled in our bones. That was the day we met Bluebeard, and that was the day he won me, with an unfamiliar song pricking at our curiosity. What gift did you present to Bluebeard before the wedding? Why did you choose this? Sea glass on a bit of woven thread, found wandering the shores of our home when we were a child, and one of our greatest treasures. It matched the shade of his eyes, brighter than his beard, a blue like the sky after a winter storm, frosted with clouds. I feel it was meant for him, a gift from the sea to tell our future together. Do you trust your generous husband, Bluebeard, or do you hold unkind suspicions? Why is that? I find new ways to love him every day, from the way his hands move to watching his lips form words. He's a strange man that never ceases to find a way to make us curious. I trust him in my heart of hearts. We all trust him, or so I believe. Sisterly bonds. You trust your sisters for the most part, but the Animus blackens your innocence with her every word. Explain how she became your enemy. She's too straightforward, too focused on what is in front of her. She often scolded me, telling me not to waste time on childish flights of fancy. There was work to be done, children to care for. Once she noticed I had become enamored with a neighborhood boy. His hands were like cursive as he talked, his skin and eyes dark, but bright like sunlight on fresh lacquer. She made us sever ties, and I hate her for taking a bit of beauty away from me. The witch often helps you play tricks on others. Explain a time when she was your ally in mischief. The witch understands my dreams, my desire for beauty, my desire to be something other than mundane. She helped me sneak into the richest woman in town's house. We became drunk on her riches and fine jewels and dresses until we had to flee the butler when we were caught. She said that the butler would get his, but I don't know what she meant.
Thank you, Virgin. Okay, last but not least, the mother.
So, what is the bride's figure like? The bride's figure is thin with very little curves. Her clothing just hangs off of her with no shape to it. What do others wish were different about it? Others wish she had curves to show her health, for she looks sickly. What are you leaving behind from your provincial life to become Bluebeard's bride? A sense of purpose and order. Not having a family to take care of, or to take care of others, and instead just spends her day being married is very different from what she's used to, and she has lost that sense of purpose and urgency in her life. When you first met, what loving gesture did Bluebeard make that won you over? Bluebeard stood with her on the cliffs overlooking the ocean as the storm rolled in and promised to protect her and keep her safe from it and all others. What gift did you present to Bluebeard before the wedding, and why did you choose this? On the back of the clasp of the cloak that the Animus gave Bluebeard is a small needle that can slide in and out. It is metal, and it is a reminder to Bluebeard that she will always be there to help fix things. Do you trust your generous husband, or do you hold unkind suspicions? Well, she trusts him, but he needs to be more frugal with spending. She feels that he is too freely spending money which they should be putting away for the future. And that makes her uncomfortable. Her sisterly bonds. The Virgin irritates her with her obstinance. Explain a time that they undermined your authority. At one point, it was the end of the summer season and they were preparing for winter. The mother wanted to make sure that all of the food and everything was prepared so that they'd have stuff to eat over the winter. And the virgin wanted to spend time with one of her friends. So she spent the day and they wasted a day when they could have been making sure that the family had enough to eat. You trust the Animus to have your back. Explain a time that they supported you in your time of need. The Animus is calm and direct when needing to coordinate things. Specifically, there was a time when there was a big storm where everybody had to go out and make sure that the rest of their home was protected, and she had to stay with the younger siblings, the younger sisters. So the Animus made sure that everybody knew where to go and how to protect themselves, and even kept the younger siblings distracted during the storm once we knew that they were out of danger.
Okay. Thank you, everyone, for your aspects of the bride. You are all sisters. Welcome, sisters. Now it's time for the big event. Let's get married. It's your wedding day. You put on your finest dress that Bluebeard bought you, and you bind up your hair with flowers. But your mother does tell you that they're not perfect braids, but because it's your wedding day, it's okay. You have the final say. At the ceremony, he kisses you very chaste. At the reception, you sit alone at the high table, drinking champagne, while he talks to your guests, most of whom you do not know. But it all seems like they're talking about you. And they seem to be giving you looks. Then he hands you into a carriage, and the torches outside are lit because night is drawing. He then sits across from you with his side against the door, and he just watches you on that long ride. With the torchlight reflected in your eyes and in his blue hair, he doesn't touch you. He just looks. And then the carriage stops. He then hands you out, and your view is this enormous house. It towers over you, 3 stories made of a beautiful stone, and the torchlight just shines off the magnificent roof. And in front of you are a few stairs leading to double doors. As you look at them, you look to the side, and you see beyond the hedge that surrounds the grounds. The grass inside is dry and brown. And then you enter the house, and Bluebeard closes the door behind you. It's very dark inside this entry hall. You can't see the end of it, but you think that there are stairs there. There's a table in front of you made of highly polished wood and shines with one of the lamps that are lit. On it is a letter, and Bluebeard reads it while the coachman brings in your luggage. Then he turns to you. I'm so sorry, my bride. I am so looking forward to our wedding night, but business is calling me away and I cannot stay. But here, have the keys to the house. Please look through everything. Make yourself at home, but do not go into the room in the northeast tower. That is my private chamber, and where I can find some rest from all the stresses of the world. It is my private area. Please do not go in there. I will be back soon, and we will have our wedding night. You will remember it for the rest of your life. Then he hands you your keys, and he turns and leaves, closing the door. You are alone in Bluebeard's house. You're a little bit drunk, your shoes are far too tight, and you hear rain hitting the roof. So the wedding present that pleased Bluebeard the most was that of the virgins, the sea glass. And so she gets the ring first. So, what do you want to do? And I encourage you all to talk amongst yourselves.
Can the shoes go now?
Definitely go now. You
Take
said
off
to
our
make
shoes.
ourselves at home, right?
We should probably go and find a room.
I agree.
Hmm.
I agree.
Your footsteps you're losing the shoes.
But we pick them up
Oh, you
and
pick up.
bring them with us.
Okay. And so your feet just pedal down the steps lightly creaking along the house, and you look at the key ring in front of you. There are a multitude of keys. Virgin, what key speaks to you right now?
I think the one that speaks to me is the one that's the most delicate, with the most scroll work at the end.
Scroll work. Okay, delicate scroll work. What is it made out of?
It's made out of a gray iron, but the end of it is painted gold.
Painted gold. Okay. And so you're in search for your room, and you wander the hallways. Do you climb up the stairs?
I do.
Maybe your room is upstairs. And so you wander up that dark, dark staircase that's barely lit by the torches that's nearby on the staircase. And you look down at the key ring, and you look at a door, and the door perfectly matches the key that you have described. And the key that you've described matches perfectly this delicate door with beautiful sea glass, blue, very, very blue, like the ocean that you have left behind, just goes over and decorates the door. And it's also of an iron, but is painted with ornate gold. And there's beautiful scrolling all across the door, beautiful calligraphy. And when you look at the door handle, it is but of a red, and it's a blood red. And as you enter, the door closes behind you. The room you stand in reeks of incense and perfume. The walls, the floor, and even the vaulted ceiling that you never had at home is painted all one color and one particular shade: dried, coagulated blood red. In the center of the room, freestanding, black iron rods support the weight of heavy iron chains that slope in a V and are attached to a cracked leather swing seat. To its left, a large sturdy wooden cross with iron shackles groan as they dangle, with obsidian rivets and loops jutting out in menace. A numerous display of thick canes and sharp whips line the shelves around the room, placed in a meticulous order.
What is this place? Why would he decorate the door like the glass that I gave? This is horrible.
I've heard men talk about rooms like this.
What are they for?
I go to take a closer look at the swing.
Is that what you want to do, Virgin? Would you like the bride to move towards the swing?
I think towards the chains, actually.
The chains. You want to specifically look at the chains?
Yes.
Okay. So you're moving towards the swing. And as you do, you look at you're about to reach out and touch these very wrought, heavy iron chains. You feel a warm breath behind your neck. And there is a whisper behind your ear. You are a mare. You haven't had your wedding night. Silly girl, you must be broken in before you can become a woman. Let me help you. And she deeply breathes and reaches in between your legs. And as she does, blood starts to gush between your legs and staining your wedding dress. Did I see you shiver in fear?
Yeah, you did.
Okay. And so when you when you shiver from fear, name the thing that you're most afraid of that will happen, and I will tell you how it's worse than you feared.
Hold on, I have to adjust my mic apparently. Can everyone hear me now?
Perfect.
Okay. The thing I fear most is the touch, the feeling of places being touched that even I had feared to touch before. Memories of, nights under my blanket where I experimented and felt shame in the morning. To feel someone else's hands down there is wrong. It's wrong.
Ooh, okay. So I will give you an option. Either you get to keep the ring and choose two from the list. It affects you with its perversion. It has the bride in its clutches now, or it speaks to you. Take one trauma. Just you, sister. Or you can just pass the ring and choose one.
I passed the ring to the witch.
Okay.
What were my two options again?
So you're passing the ring. You just choose one. One, and it affects the bride with its perversion. It has the bride in its clutches now, or just the horror just speaks to you. Take one trauma. Just you, sister.
Horror speaks to me. I will take one trauma.
Okay. I will tell you how it's worse. So you hear deep breathing, but it's not anymore behind you. It's on the other side of the cross that you have seen in this room. And as you investigate, a woman is wearing the same wedding dress as you, but has deep purple gashes and bruises and marks across her neck and arms. And only you, Sister the Virgin, hears this. She says, "Silly girl, let me help you. I will break you like a horse." And the woman who was behind you, you feel a really dark, a tickling behind your neck as her lips just brush against your neck. Okay, witch, you have the ring now.
The witch we say out loud, "It's funny you think you're the scariest thing here." And I would like to dirty myself with violence
Okay.
against whoever's behind me.
Whoever is behind you, okay. To do that, you just roll plus carnality. Describe what you're doing. How are you dirtying yourself with violence?
We did manicure our nails fairly nicely for this event, under duress, basically, like held down to get all the dirt and grime out from being out in the woods. And we know they're fairly sharp, so we reach for where we think the face would be and scratch.
Okay, let's do a roll.
So I rolled a 5 and a 2, and my carnality is -1.
Okay, 5, 2, that's a 6.
Yep.
Okay, so instead of grabbing the face behind you, you don't, the face isn't there where you thought the face would be. And now the gushing between your legs just gets stronger, and you're feeling now deep pain in your abdomen. And you're feeling now sand slaking through.
Is this my blood?
This is your blood.
So then can I use my face?
Absolutely. What's your face?
The medium. Spill your blood to commune with the horrors in the room.
Okay.
Mark 1 trauma, and the groundskeeper will share whisperings about what happened here and might ask you a question or two. Answer them.
Right.
So my blood is being spilled.
Okay.
So I'll stick my hand in it and draw whatever symbol I numerally draw on myself to make this happen.
Right. And so, witch, unlike the virgin, who doesn't know and is ashamed of a woman's body, of that the place that she touches with great nervousness and shame, you know exactly the power of a woman. You know exactly what these canes and whips are used for. As you said, you have heard the calls of men. And so it seems like Bluebeard wanted this. He wants to shape his bride to form to his desires. And he is ruthless in making sure that you obey him. Now, which my question for you is, how far would you go to please Bluebeard?
Only as far as is necessary for me to have my freedom.
Okay. Mark a trauma. Virgin, I hope you marked a trauma as well when you communed with the horror. Okay.
So I'm going to look down at what's going on. Look at my sisters. This is less than ideal. Any suggestions?
Do we see our attacker anywhere?
She is now in front of you, and she holds your head, your cheeks in front, and she's trying to kiss you and tries to draw you within towards her.
We're resisting and just kind of staring her straight in the eye.
Oh, you're resisting. It might seem like you're suffocating, but this is what the master likes.
Can I try and push her away?
You certainly can.
Yeah.
Would you like to dirty yourself with violence to do that? Is it a hard shove?
Enough to put some space in between us. So not a hard shove, but just a...
Mm-hmm. Right, just to like put some distance between you.
Yeah.
And so as you do that, it's almost as if, where are you pushing her?
Just straight back.
Just straight back onto like maybe her shoulders, chest
Yeah,
area?
kind of top of the rib cage. Yep.
And she is laughing as you try to do that. And her body's, as you do that, it's almost like you're papering her with every touch and shove. Her body starts to paper with cellophane, and her face starts to paper with cellophane as well. And what you think, where her eyes and her mouth should be, are now heaving with dark gray circles as she's trying to now scream, but you can't hear it, and all you hear a whisper is, again, it might seem like you're suffocating, but the master likes it dearly.
I'm going to back up. I think we've all seen enough. Everybody okay with leaving?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yes.
Please.
We're going to exit the room.
Okay, so do you want to propose a truth about the room, or would you like to escape?
I'm going to propose a truth.
Okay.
That my husband proves to be no different than what I've heard men say.
Okay, so so what are you taking a token of faithfulness or a token of disloyalty?
Disloyalty.
Disloyalty. And what are you taking?
I am taking my own blood that I'm going to kind of just have a bunch on my hand since I'm on me and string it along one of my braids.
Okay. Okay. So you exit this room. Who do you pass the ring to?
I'll pass it to the mother. Maybe you can find a kitchen or something.
All right. I'm going to look at the keys. And I'm going to try and find one that looks like it is worn or used a lot.
Okay. What would it be made out of?
It would probably be made out of wrought iron.
Mm.
It wouldn't be very polished. It would be very crude. Something that would be duplicated a lot and pretty easy to duplicate.
Okay. Okay, so you're looking through all your key rings and you look at one of the keys that you have said is worn and often readily duplicated is a common key. Anyone can find this. And as you're upstairs and you're going down the hallway. Bride, what do you look like right now as you have exited the first room? What is your demeanor and your dress look like right now?
Her dress is going to be streaked with blood. It's still bright red. It's the bottom is dirty from both her night in the dining hall, the travel here, and walking through the hall. Mm-hmm. She's has it hiked unceremoniously up so that she can move a little bit better. Because at this point, she's the only one here. And she wants to get to her destination as quickly as possible.
Right. Okay. Yes, that makes sense. And so you are moving through this very dark entryway and you find a door that matches your key and is wrought iron as well. You look and it is ornate with clouds. It seems like ones of rain and storm, but they're ornate in the fact that they've been embroidered onto this door, almost as if whoever had built this door had used a very fine sewing needle. Very, very practical. And so very frugal of a door otherwise. The handle is nondescript. The door itself, iron, with the embroidered clouds and rain. And as you enter, the door closes behind you. And as your eyes adjust to the darkness, you can make out vague shapes that are covered by dull gray tarps and cobwebs. A large ornate metal chest is in the middle of the room, on top of a lonely dirt mound, with rust-colored water lapping and licking at the edge of this island. But the pungent odor of decaying vegetation and methane turns your attention to the boarded up walls. Rust-colored water runs freely along the walls, with trails of black mold and muck blooming and squirming. The movement of the water doesn't sound like the gentle swaying of the ocean that you're used to at home. It sounds like disembodied screams.
All right. This is definitely not the kitchen. I am... Is there a pathway to the center of the room? Or is it like really an island?
It's a sizable like lake that the water is lapping around. You would need to swim just like a little bit. It's only the water is only say like waist deep. You would need to like wade through it in order to get to the island.
All right. I'm not going to do that just yet. I'm going to walk around the outside and just kind of inspect what's happening there. Since it's so dark, I can't see.
Okay, so are you trying to sort of like take stock of the situation? Okay.
Yes.
What question would you like to ask?
I would like to ask, what is living in here?
Okay. I would say it would be the painful memories of luxury are living in here. Whereas you know frugality, you're the mother. You have always tried to take care of the spending for the household. You are no stranger to this, but you see with this ornate chest that is everything that you've never had, this luxury, this ornate jewelry. It is simply not something you've ever had in your life, which is right in front of you.
This makes me nervous.
I don't trust this.
No. But the only way might be forward.
So,
all right,
Mother, are you going to move forward?
Should we go and open the chest? You're muted.
Yep. So what's the worst that could happen?
Well, I think that, Mother, you wanted to look around the darker corners of the room first. That might not be... I think that's a good idea, just so that someone else doesn't sneak up on us like last time. We might not be the only ones here.
What if there's something worse in the chest, though?
We need to know.
Mm-mm.
One or the other.
All right. So here's what I propose. I will walk around and inspect to see what's going on. And can one of you look, or can you guys look around at other things while I'm doing this?
Yeah.
All right.
Can we?
I mean, in the way I read that is you're looking for one thing, but we as other facets of the personality are keeping our eyes open for other things.
Yep.
So that makes sense to me as a player. So yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I would like to find where the disembodied voices are coming from. I'm going to just walk around and listen. If there's like if there's one specific place, or if it's just coming from all over the place.
Right. Your footsteps pad very softly and actually every step is a little bit more difficult as the floor below you turns a little bit more marshy. You look at your feet, it's a little dirty, and you walk around and you're looking at the room. You're trying to figure out where the disembodied voices are. They're all around you, all surrounding you on the walls. But they have one message for you, sister. We can be together forever. It's you, it's me, it's us.
I would like to caress this horror.
Crest the wall?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to reach out and just like lovingly, motheringly put my hand on it.
On the muck and all the on the mold.
Yeah, the muck on the wall.
Okay.
And just say, if we are in this together, you need to help me find out what's going on.
Okay, let's roll some blood.
All right. Ooh. I have a 3 total.
3. Okay. I do like that we're starting off with some bad rolls. It makes the fiction a little bit more exciting. So as you describe to me how you're trying to crest the walls.
Almost like a mother putting their hand on the back of a child that's scared, like protectively letting them know that they are there and that they aren't alone.
Mm-hmm. So as you put your hand on the wall and try to commune with the wall and tell it that it's not alone, the vague shapes that were around the room are now moving towards the bride, and the tarps just fall off, and there are faceless mannequins that now greet you. But on these faceless mannequins are lavish, fine dresses made of intricate silk, baubles, and colors that hang from them. Mother, you do have magnificent sewing skills, but not on this level. You do help the family business creating these seafaring clothing, but your touch is a little bit more rough. You reach for one of the dresses in front of you, feeling the rich material that, again, you could never afford, that is a fabric that would cost you so much money. The waist is cinched tightly, and as you compare it to yourself, your waist is too wide and your bosom too small to fit into these dresses. This is not a dress made for you. Mother, since you pressed a whore, you now must pass the ring. Who would you like to pass the ring to?
I'm going to pass it to the Animus. I feel that her level-headedness will help better in this room.
Okay, Animus.
All right. How many of these mannequins are there?
5.
5 mannequins.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I think it's time that we look in the chest.
Okay. And so, Sister Animus, do you choose to wade into the rust-colored lake?
Yes. Pull our skirts up and sort of bunch them, tie them around our waist. They're going to get wet a little bit, but no reason to let them completely soak.
Yes.
And I leave our shoes on the shore.
Sisters, how do you feel about this? Do you agree? Should you be going into the lake?
No, it's gross, and I'm already disturbed enough. Like, this can't be. Maybe there's just rooms that he hasn't gone in, and maybe these are other people living here. Maybe, I don't know.
He had other wives. We've heard this before. If he had 5 other wives, what happened to them?
Well, won't know till we open the chest, maybe. There's a smell. There's a not great smell.
Yeah, the smell is definitely disconcerting, and the garments here have me on edge. I do think we need to open that chest.
It's okay. I've
And
got
I'll
it.
be sugar and rainbows.
Not everything has to be sugar and rainbows, but I didn't exactly go into this thinking that this is what we would be doing on our wedding night.
You haven't heard enough men speak.
What kind of stories have you heard? This is not what I was expecting either.
This isn't exactly what I was expecting. Room 1, close.
Why?
They think it's fun.
To do what? With chains and rods and...
Well, you know how sometimes when farmer gets a new horse, they need to break the horse?
Yeah.
Some men like to do that with their women.
But we're not horses.
We're their property to do with as they please, and so close enough.
Especially when we're all alone with them.
Then why don't we leave?
And go where? With what?
To whom?
If we don't have anywhere else to go.
Home?
You know we can't go back home.
Bride, you are lifting up your dress and wading into this rust-colored lake. It is cold, freezing to the touch. And it seems the rust-colored water, if the patches of white on your dress that weren't stained with blood are now dyed with the same color of the rust. And Mother, you know that it'll take a very long time for you to wash this out. Animus, you don't recognize this water. It is very, very strange to you. It's not like the lapping water that you have at home, the home that the Virgin wants to go back to. You are blessed. You are with Bluebeard. You have escaped this provincial life of yours. You have gained freedom from your mother, who constantly chastises you that you're not perfect. Why would you ever want to go back? The chest is striking with beautiful gold peonies, with water lilies etched onto the lid and body. It has beautiful roses inlaid and the same sea glass that the Virgin had given Bluebeard, or like it. The chest is reinforced with brass trim and heavy bolts with 3 keyholes peering out from the mouths of small boys. 3 large, nondescript, heavy iron keys have already been inserted, but are unturned.
I run our fingers along the sea glass for a moment, and then reach for the first key. The one, are they in a line?
They're in a line.
I reach for the one on the left.
Put your hand in there, and you just slowly turn it, and you hear tumbles just sort of ring inside. There's in it you hear a lock click, but nothing else happens.
I move to the key next to it.
Similarly, the gears all they rumble, and you hear this chest groan, but it also nothing happens. It still stands still.
All right,
It's
sisters.
not too late to open it. Not open it.
Open it.
I agree with the witch. Mother, what do you think?
Do it.
I move my hand to the third key.
I can't look.
And the chest opens in front of you. And you look inside, and it's the same lavish fine dresses that were on the mannequin as well. And as you hold it in front of you, two gray, slimy hands shoot out from puff sleeves and grips your neck tightly. A faceless woman emerges from the dress and drags you towards the rust-colored lake that has formed below the chest, replacing the island. Where there was an island, there is now just rust-colored water. And
Is it possible? Oh, go on. I'm sorry.
She whispers to you again, "We can be together forever. It's you, it's me, it's us. It's a quicker death this way."
Is it possible to slam the top of the chest on her hands or her torso as she's reaching towards us?
Are you proposing a dirty yourself with violence?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Let's roll with some carnality.
So that's, I rolled 6 + 1 for my carnality, so that's 7.
7. Okay. So you do inflict trauma, and you can choose from the list. Either you disable them, you silence them, you mutilate them. But also on a 7 to 9, you also choose one from below. Your vulnerability opens you up to trauma, or your carelessness leaves you in a bad spot.
I would like to pick disable them
Mm-hmm.
and open yourself up to trauma.
Okay. Yes. And so you slam the chest shut right on top of her torso, and she is writhing on top, like her body's in between the chest and yourself. But this vulnerability leaves you up to traumas. Her hands are still on your neck, and they are tightening. And her torso, all you've managed to do is slice off her torso, and she is now dragging you down in this rust-colored lake. And so, mark a trauma, Animus. Would you like to take this by yourself, or would you like to pass this on to your sisters as well?
I can take it on my own.
Okay. And Animus, you do hear a voice from the woman, the faceless woman again, and she whispers to you, "You'll be nothing but a burned up husk if you do not be the mother and the bride that Bluebeard intends you to be."
Oh, that hits home. That's very much what the Animus feels about our own mother.
Mm-hmm. Now that you have attempted to dirty yourself with violence, who would you like to pass the ring to?
Let's hand it to the witch.
Mm.
Let's see what mischief she can manage.
Oh, because I like to talk to dead people. Now I have to deal with all the dead people. Okay.
I'm here when you need me, but you can do the talking.
The witch is going to scratch, as she's struggling, scratch the back of her hand, grab a little bit of blood, make another one of those symbols, and commune with the horror in the room.
Okay, this is your face move that you're using?
Yes.
Okay. And you'll take a trauma with communing with them.
Yeah.
Okay. And so you feel the slimy gray mass just coming up to your ear again. And you can feel it, this shiver sort of going down your shoulders as it's all wet and cold. And she whispers to you, "We can be here forever. You, it's me, it's us." And she tells you, "Bride, all these wonderful, beautiful things that Bluebeard was able to give to us, why don't you like them too? You'll never fit them. Your body's too flat. You're not cinched up enough. You have to use your body to please Bluebeard. That's the only reason he's married you. He didn't marry you because of your personality or your emotions. Men only want one thing." So
They do.
They do.
They
Which?
do.
Now, Mike, which my question to you is, do you believe this?
I know that men want a very specific thing for many women, but I also know they can't want it all the time. And that it's not a prison sentence. It's not a death sentence for them to want that. There's plenty of other time for us to be ourselves and to be free.
And the woman whispers in your ear, "Now let me crush your throat so you can't sing like your bird."
Oh, she insulted the bird. We are going to, I guess, dirty ourselves with violence to try and pry the arms off.
Try to pry the arms off. Okay. So let's roll with carnality.
That's a 4.
Oh, okay. And so you are now leveling deeper and deeper in this lake. And the disembodied screams now turn to one that you're all too familiar with. And that is Edmund's voice, your brother. And he just says, "Come back home, bride. Why have you betrayed me? I need you." Who do you pass the ring to, Witch?
Mother, finish what you started.
Okay. I don't see him though, but I hear it, right? Or was that only for the witch?
That is right now for everyone.
Okay.
Wait, what was for everyone?
Edmund's voice as now the
I
disembodied
see.
screams.
Edmund.
Oh no. Don't you dare use my family as a weapon against me.
I need you, bride. I need you. I need you, sister.
Mother, we
No.
have to
I'm
go
gonna
to him.
propose the truth.
Virgin, I need you. Why have you betrayed me?
We have to go to him.
No.
We have to see what hurt
No.
has been caused.
It is a trick.
Come play with me,
It's not a trick to care for someone.
sister.
I'm gonna propose the truth, groundskeeper.
Okay.
I am gonna propose that living this life of luxury is nothing but a ruse for the truth of what he wants. That it's used to cover up who he really is.
Okay. So are you taking a token of faithfulness or a token of disloyalty?
Oh, that's a good question. I'm going to take a token of faithfulness because it's not uncommon to do that. It's in fact very common to hide behind luxury. So it doesn't go against any other expectations. So yeah, I will take a token of truth.
Okay. What's your token that you take?
I am going to take I'm going to take a part of the dress.
Okay, the fine dress?
Yes.
Okay. So we have one token of disloyalty and one token of faithfulness. Mother, who do you pass the ring to?
I'm going to pass the ring to the Virgin.
Okay.
We can go and leave. You get to choose where we go next. That choice is yours.
But what about Edmund?
He's not here.
Just grab our shoes. Grab our shoes on the way out.
You're worried about the shoes?
I mean,
it's practical to keep them with, just in case.
I don't know. The next room could have a floor of needles or something like that.
So I have a question. When you propose a truth, we have left the room, right?
You have left the room. And so, yes. And so you, again, have stepped out from this room. And Virgin, what does the bride look like right now?
Terrified, dirty, confused, haunted.
Okay, well, you took your shoes. That is very clear. Do you put them back on?
Yes.
There's now mud in your beautiful wedding shoes from the mud that you tracked from the former room. And you thought you were upstairs, but as you look around you, the darkness and the feeling of this place feels like you're in a basement, a lower level of the castle. And you're walking and your feet now make that sound, that squelching sound whenever you have mud and water in your shoes. It's very gross. And you're tracking mud all over the beautiful carpets below you in this hallway. Describe the key that speaks to you, Virgin.
I look at the key ring, take it in my hands, and I look for the one that is least like this place, the one that is least like this horrible, awful place that we've walked into.
So more like your home?
More like our home.
What are you missing most from your home right now, Virgin?
Peace. The naivete that is slowly becoming unraveled.
Okay, so you look at the key that's least like this place. A key that is made of beautiful seashells that remind you of your home. near the sea, a piece. It looks like there may be lavender attached to it as well. Beautiful flowers. The key matches the door. It is flowered all over with beautiful purple lavender and thread that you are so used to using with your family business. It just breathes of your home again. That's where you want to go. The handle is of that beautiful blue sea glass that you had given to Bluebeard. And there's a bird that's engraved in the door, looking like the sparrow that the witch had given to Bluebeard as a gift. And so as you open the door, soft lyrical music from a stringed instrument caresses your ear. This sumptuous room has rich, dark mahogany paneling the room. A fireplace is lit in the hearth, and its dark orange light allows you to see the elegant chaise lounge trimmed with gold fleur-de-lis and a soft red velvet. A soft carpet woven with nautical patterns muffle the sound of your squelching footsteps. In front of the chaise lounge is a sturdy oak easel with several pieces of broken charcoal and rough sketches on brown paper.
I look more closely at the easel.
Would you like to investigate a mysterious object?
Yes.
What 2 questions would you like to ask?
Who are the drawings of, or what are the drawings of? And did Bluebeard do them himself?
As you leaf through these coarse drawings, you notice that they are of the same woman, who looks like you but has a thinner waist, fuller hips, and a fairer face. In one, she is sleeping. In another, she is combing her hair. In another, she is touching herself. They are all of her declining in form. The last leaflet reveals shaky writing strewn with a mix of dried blood and chalk. Why won't he stop watching me? Is that another shiver from fear?
Not fear.
Mm.
Disgust.
Mm.
These sketches are so detailed. They'd be beautiful if they weren't. Desirable lies. He wants his idea of us, doesn't he?
Well, he wants us to be what he wants. I think what we've seen in the previous 2 rooms, what we've heard, he wants to break us, remake us, or at least watch us crumble and try to do what he wants to make it stop.
I throw the easel in the fire.
Throw the easel in the fire. Sisters, how do you feel about this?
I love it.
I think that was the right move.
Yep, I agree.
And so you throw the easel into the fire, stoking it. It flashes brightly as you see now bits of charred paper just in the air. But as that happens, it's not only the rustle and sort of the charred pieces of paper making sounds. You look towards the chaise lounge, And where there wasn't before is now a woman whose nude torso is mutilated and hollowed in front of you. Her intestines are strung up and tied around her neck, and crimson blood pours onto the velvet chaise lounge and mats her fine blonde hair. The graceful melody you heard earlier is thrumming deep within her cavity as she thrums and strums her intestines, her long fingernails tugging at the edge of her open skin. Bonjour, madame. Veuillez nouvelle madame à la maison.
Oh, oui.
Vous
Je
parlez en
suis la
français?
madame.
Oh, veuillez
Comment
nouvelle
t'appelles-tu?
madame. Oh.
What is your name?
She stares at you. She continues to strum at her intestines. And she softly says, Marie.
Marie, qu'est-ce qui se passe?
Mon corps.
Ton corps?
Mon corps. And she just continues to now strum her intestines. She is telling you and Virgin, everyone else, the bride, because the bride knows French, everyone knows French as well with the bride. And she's asking all of you, are you the new madame of the house? And she is telling you that something has happened to her body.
La musique est belle, mais qu'est-ce qu'il a fait? What did Bluebeard do to you?
And she just smiles and continues to dig deeper and deeper into her intestines and plays it with that bow. And as you look towards her chest, the same area that she's using her bow, you feel in your chest as well. There's a long gash spreading across your chest as well. Each bow movement is cutting deeper and deeper into your own.
Marie, arrête, s'il vous plaît. Please.
Take a trauma, Virgin, as you feel the bow. Yeah.
Can I use my face?
Yeah, what's your face?
The lily.
So, yeah.
One moment. Your beauty is a candle in the darkness. When you care for someone by showing them something beautiful, you do not have to just demonstrate your sincerity.
Okay. Yes. And so, how do you care for this individual?
I go to her and I place my hand on her shoulder and I start to sing in French along with her song to try and quell her, to try and give some beauty back, some peace for this woman that's lost.
Right. And she reaches for your face. And as she is reaching for your face, she stops. No longer is your gash now across your abdomen. She stops strumming. But you hear a ringing in your ears and it will not stop. It hurts. And it hurts even more as she's trying to put her hand on your cheeks, reaching for that flesh. And her nails are just growing longer and longer.
Marie, please, Let me help you.
Merci, madame. And so she is looking at you with rage. There's so much rage in her eyes, unlike your eyes, which reflects back so much beauty and optimism. Virgin, her eyes is just filled with rage. She doesn't want to stop.
Ta cour est belle. Ta voix est belle. Please, let your music release your rage.
Je n'aurai pas de t'aimer. I will not stop loving you. Let me love you.
You can love and not harm.
It's the same thing.
No.
The love is to hurt.
No. Is that what Bluebeard taught you? Bluebeard is wrong. Love is more beautiful than that. Whatever happened to you wasn't love. Ce n'est pas. Ce n'est pas. Pretend I said it right.
Sisters, what are you thinking right now?
You can't save this woman. It's time to go.
Not everyone can be like you. Let's go.
But she's in pain.
And we can learn from that.
We can keep ourselves from feeling that.
But what about her?
She's dead. She's strumming her intestines. We can't do anything for her. She's been dead. This place is rotten.
Just because she's dead doesn't mean she can't find peace.
Some things can't.
There's peace and truth. So we keep looking for the truth. Whether it's theirs or ours, at the end of it, we can't figure that out just yet.
Marie, I will try to find a way to release you.
Tu vas mourir. You will die of not having loved.
If this is what love looks like, then I'm better off. I want you to find peace. Goodbye, Marie. This song is beautiful, even if it's filled with hate. Au revoir.
So, would you like to propose a truth or escape?
Propose a truth.
Okay. What do you think happened?
I think that Bluebeard has an obsession with beautiful things. Trinkets, glass, fine jewels. And I think he finds beauty in the women that he destroys and finds pleasure in it.
Mm.
And that all the women here, for they have all been women thus far, have suffered for his love and been broken by it. For his love is cruelty.
Are you taking a token of faithfulness or a token of disloyalty?
Disloyalty.
What are you taking?
I grab a scrap of paper that floated out of the embers of the fire. And
Okay.
I clutch it to my chest as I leave.
Okay. Okay. Virgin, who do you pass the ring to?
I pass the ring to the Animus, the most headstrong of us all.
Animus, as you close the door behind you, what does the bride look like right now?
Not great. We look spoiled, bruised, bloodied. Our dress is the color of a bruise at this point. And there's nothing we can do about it. This isn't coming out.
Yes. It's not. And so, as you walk through the lonely hallways, unsure of which area of the house you're in, you feel a magnetic pull, and you automatically know, Bride, that you're moving towards the northeast tower of this house. You don't know how. Maybe it's the wind. Maybe it's your connection with the stars and the blood and all this magic in this world. But you're moving towards the door. What key speaks to you from this key ring?
It looks like an outstretched hand, palm forward. It's oddly warm from us holding it or being in our pocket. And it is intricately carved.
Okay. So you go to a door and you find the same door that matches your key as you have described. Intricate, outstretched hand. And you can. What is the key made out of?
Let's go bronze.
Bronze is similar as well. The bronze door, almost like a gilded cage, a golden cage, a bird cage perhaps. And as you go forward and touch the handle, you feel it squeeze your hand and then let go. And as you enter, the door closes behind you. The ceiling is one gigantic, exquisite looking glass dome stretching from one end of the room to the other. It is airy and bright. A dizzying collection of gold and bird cages filled with colorful songbirds, most similarly like the sparrow that the witch had given to Bluebeard, hangs from the ceilings, creating a gilded canopy. Small glass domes on beautiful oak pedestals line the gallery shelves, and inside each is a single beautiful red blood rose. But as you take a quick glance, it seems like shriveled petals just surround this rose. And in the middle of the room, there's a table with just a very simple metal platter with some scones on it and a chair. And there is a beautiful cloak lined, not the same one that you had given Bluebeard, the same clasp, the same color, the same comfort and wear that you were wanting to give Bluebeard.
Are the birds alive? Like, can I hear them?
Yes, they're very much alive. They are twittering about.
Okay, that's something. I think we should look at the cloak. See if it is the one we gave him. If he just left it here.
Yes. And so as you move towards the cloak, it is similar to the one you given Bluebeard, but it seems like as if it has aged quite significantly, like as if it was worn. And you had just given Bluebeard this gift. You had not made it just, say, a couple weeks ago. How could it have been worn and aged to this extent?
Check the clasp.
Good idea, Mother. We look at the clasp.
The clasp no longer holds the sewing needle that you had put in there, Mother.
Is the space empty or is it just not there?
Space is empty.
Okay.
I look around on the table or under the table to see if it just fell out.
Sisters, do you also agree with that? Is that important that you find this needle? What's the clue here?
It's not the most important thing in the world.
But to you it is, bride, because you gave it to Bluebeard.
For me, it is too.
How dare he lose something of valuable possession that you'd given him?
What I find...
More, sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry, go on.
I'm more concerned that he can keep birds alive but not wives in his gilded cage.
Birds probably listen better.
You search among the floor for this needle. And as you look up to the golden bird cages, the birds suddenly go silent. And you can feel them watching you. You can see the birds reflected in the glass jars, only they're not birds. Broken-looking women are stuffed into those cages, looking at you. And their skeletal hands are reaching out to draw you into their cages. And one of the broken women whispered to you, "Will he keep you here with us to entertain him when he grows lonely?"
That seems to be his plan. Is that what happened to you? And I would like to caress a horror.
Okay. Roll blood. 8. Okay. So on a hit, the horror is swayed by your stroke, direct what was intended for you to another victim in the house, but on a 7 to 9, it will shift its attention, but only if you participate in some way. So the broken women in these cages, they stare at you and they do not blink. And they say, "Join us. Entertain Bluebeard when he is lonely." And then they offer you to eat and join them at the table. Why won't you join us at the table and eat with us? Might as well entertain him while he's here.
But he's not here.
That is his cape. We are eating his food. We demand that you eat with us too.
We shouldn't eat that food.
No.
I think it's a bad idea too. But perhaps we should sit at the table, at least.
I'm okay with that.
We have to.
Okay. Animus, you've crushed the horror. Who do you want to pass the ring to?
Let's see. Let's go with the mother.
Okay.
I think these women might need some tender love and care.
Right. Before you pass the ring to the mother, these women are clearly piercing you with their gaze. And you feel very uncomfortable, Animus, that your cloak here being aged and you can't find the needle. You're feeling a bit a guilt right now. Where is Bluebeard? What has happened to, wow, how dare he not use his possession? I'd say take a trauma right now. You're feeling a little insecure right now. Mother, what would you like to do?
I'm going to sit down at the table, but I'm going to sit at the opposite end of where the cloak is, where the wife would normally sit on a formal banquet table.
Right. And as you take your seat at the table, you look around you, and the glass domes with their beautiful roses are starting to wilt faster. And as the petals drop on the bottom of the glass domes, they wither into fingers and teeth and hair. And the scones that were on the table now are moving towards you and your mouth at a precipitous rate. It seems that as if someone is trying to force feed you.
Okay. I am going to I would like to caress the horror.
Okay. What are you trying to caress?
I am going to take one of the scones and pick it up. And instead, I'm going to offer it to the birds because they look like they are hungry and that they need more nourishment than I do right now.
Okay. Let's roll some blood.
All right. Oh, that is so much better. I have a 17 minus 1.
17.
So, yeah. I have a 9 and an 8.
On a d6?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm rolling d10s. Hold on. My apologies.
That is super bride right there.
There we go. All right. That's better. I got a 8.
Okay. So the horror is swayed by your stroke. It accepts that you're going to feed it to the birds. But it wants you to participate. It wants you to force feed the birds as well. And drive it down their throats with your fingers and your hands. Mother, who do you pass the ring to?
I'm going to pass the ring to the witch.
Witch, your hands right now, the scone that is in your hand, and you're feeding it to the birds, and the birds inside the cages just stare at you, and they twitter with delight as you hold up your hand, And as you're holding this bread in your hands, scones that are much too rich for your own body, as you realize if you eat it, you suddenly feel pulsating from your hands and your arms. And you hear a whisper in your ear. Have you ever hunted bear? Of course you have, you wild bride. You know all these animals. You also know if you don't cook your meat right, something inside can live within you. And you're feeling your muscles spasm right now in your arms, and little bubbles are creeping. You feel it below your skin.
I'm going to just chuck the scone away from us and back up from the table.
Mm-hmm.
And going to look at the birds. I'm not meant for a cage. None of us are. Not even you. Escape if you can.
Which, take a trauma as the parasites inside your skin are crawling deeper and deeper in your muscles. And who are you trying to again commune with anybody? No, you're just telling them.
No, yeah, I'm going to tell them that. And then this room is just really freaking weird. So I think we want to escape.
Yeah. How much
You
trauma
just want to escape.
How much trauma are you at?
I have one left.
You have one left.
Yeah.
Then I would like to utilize my face, the shield. When one of your sisters marks trauma, explain to her how the trauma she is. Does this not do what I wanted it to? She marks one less trauma. Okay, so she would not take the trauma. If she rejects your explanation, mark one trauma as you experience the shame of your own impotence.
Who?
So, this is your fault. We're in pain right now because you took the scone. We agreed we weren't going to eat it. I thought that meant we weren't going to touch it or do anything with it. If we don't want it, why would we feed it to this bird?
I didn't want to touch them at all.
No, I touched them. That was my choice.
Can we choose to leave now?
Okay. You're choosing to escape. So I'll give you a very hard bargain or ugly choice. If you pay the price, you can escape.
Before we move on to that, I want to finish up my face. So
Sure.
I think I should definitely take a trauma for that.
Yes.
And then, but the witch doesn't take her last trauma.
Which are you going to be on your like you would shatter if you took this, or you had one more?
No, I have one more after the parasites.
Okay, I would still rather you didn't.
Okay, so you're going to take the trauma for her?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Where is everyone at with trauma?
I'm at 3.
You're at 3?
I have 3.
You have 3?
Mm-hmm.
I have none.
Okay, mother. Okay. Well, that might change. Who knows? Just saying for a friend, maybe that'll change. Okay, so yes, sorry about that. Yes. And so okay. Let's keep going. So what do you not want happening to you right now?
I don't know what to do about what's happening in this room. I don't know how to fix these bird things because they almost seem content in their cages. I told them to get out and they seem to not want to. And if they can't help themselves, I can't help them. And so I just want to be gone and not be itchy and crawly and
Right.
someplace where I can be in more control of myself.
Right. I'll tell you what, Witch. You can be in control. Yeah, sure. Be in control. But the birds all around you, they're going to attack an aspect of the bride and mark a trauma. So you're welcome to either take the trauma or pass it on to all of your sisters in order to gain control and escape this room.
We need to get out. And I didn't want us to touch the scones, but Mother did. And I'm sorry. We all have to take it.
Okay, so Witch, you will not take it, but everyone else will.
Raising the stakes. I like it.
Raising the stakes. I mean, that's what we're here for. Okay. So who hasn't described a key to me yet?
I think
You?
it's me. Mhm.
Just you?
Yep.
What does the bride look like right now?
She's dirty.
Mm.
Her face has probably tear streaks and blood streaks and mud. What little structure was left to her braids is gone. The dirty dress she wouldn't mind if it was because of something she'd been doing that was much more fun.
Right. Okay. Okay, so you're in a despicable state, bride. What would your mother say? You're always dirty with your leaves and your hair, and your braids are always not tight enough. And so here you are in this state of yours, walking through Bluebeard's house. And again, you feel it perhaps in the wind, perhaps in how the doors don't repeat themselves, but you feel like you're moving again closer and closer to the northeast tower of this house. But there is one key that speaks to you. Which key?
It is oxidized copper, kind of greenish. It's a fairly large key, almost like it might go to more of an exterior door. She hopes it belongs to maybe a greenhouse or something outside. At the end of it, there's spiraling, kind of looping back, knotted shapes with a little bit of texture on them.
Right. Okay. And so you wander through the dark hallways again, and you're looking for the door that matches this key, and you find it. And the door is of the same oxidized metal that is so prominent in your key. And it is a thick wooden door, one that would possibly enter into a garden or perhaps a solarium. And as you reach for the handle, is one of a beak. And as you grip it and find the handle, you enter and the door closes behind you. And you're not outdoors. You are in a room that is well lit by 1,000 candles. You had hoped to be outdoors. This is all artificial light by now. The holders are decorated with beautiful sea glass and beautiful material that your satin cloaks was made out of. And again, sparrows. Are you wearing shoes right now?
As soon as Witch was in control, she would have just kicked him to the side.
Kick them to the side. Your feet glide as you move across the gleaming floor. In the center of the room is a luxurious wooden table with a green cloth spread over it. A small, unassuming rosewood box sits on the edge of the table, its open lid revealing a stack of premium playing cards. The ornate cream-colored paper walls grip tightly onto the scent of gunpowder and smoke as torches and pitchforks are prominently pinned against the wall. The silence of the room is disturbed only by the scratching sound of a hurdy-gurdy that continues to just move in and out of the instrument. Its gears still whirling about.
Have I seen this instrument before? Do we think I would know how to make it stop? Or can I figure it out? Kind of go over to it and just try and stop the noise.
You can.
I'm looking up what a hurdy-gurdy is.
Yeah.
To be honest.
We said medieval. This is our time.
It's a very
This is
early
appropriate,
medieval
indeed.
instrument.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sounds sort of like an off-key harpsichord, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which you're not. Sisters, do you know what this instrument is?
Anyone know how to make this not?
I do. They have one of the church.
And I will give up the ring to the Virgin and ask her to, can you make it stop?
I go over to the hurdy-gurdy.
Would you like to investigate the mysterious object?
Yes.
Okay. What would you like to know?
How to stop it and what's powering it.
Okay. And you find a little sort of like clasp at the edge of the hurdy-gurdy, one that clearly would stop a gear, and you press it and the hurdy-gurdy stops and it's silent. But what takes over the noise of this hurdy-gurdy as you look towards your shoulder is that but of a child. And it seems like it might be a young girl with long dark trestles of hair that fall against her back, and is wearing a very fine pink dress with starch white lace and puff sleeves in one corner, and is bent down, huddled with her back facing you, and it seems like she might be counting some numbers.
Honey? Who are you?
Ready or not, here I come, is what you hear from this girl.
Are we playing hide and seek?
She stares at you, and her face is grotesque with fear, and she runs towards you. Don't let them find me! Don't let them find me! And
Who find you?
Don't let them find me! And she's reaching for your dress, and she's pulling at your dress.
grab her, protect her.
I hold her behind me from whatever is coming.
Emergent footfalls resonate throughout the room, and all are circling around and enclosing on you. You don't see any figures, but you hear eerie chanting in unison. Seek the initiate. The ritual has begun behind you. And you hear the familiar clank and rattle of torches and pitchforks and weapons.
I grab one of the pitchforks at the side
Okay.
and I continue to stand in front of the girl. I don't know who she is, and she may be one of the tricks of this place or one of the tortured souls, but no one's getting a child in front of me. Not while I'm here.
Right.
Not
Okay.
after all this.
And you see figures emerging from the walls. Again, they're faceless, or rather, they have masks on. Faces you don't recognize. They're just sunken, hollow shapes, and they are moving fast towards you. And as you look up at the rafters, long, heavy ropes unfurled down around you, and deep scratches where there were none before form on the floor, and wails and whispers blow out all the candles in the room and say to you, just climb up and tie a knot. It's quicker that way.
I look at the girl. And I pick her up and raise her onto one of the ropes and tell her, climb, climb, climb.
Don't let them get me. Don't let them get me.
Climb as fast as you can. I'll be right behind you.
Are you coming with me?
I'll come with you.
And the girl is climbing up on the ropes.
I climb up the same rope, but I pull the other one along with me.
Okay. Sisters, are you strong enough to do this?
Yes.
Yep, we've been toting around our younger sisters for a while. We can
Right.
climb a rope.
We have
Climbing
older
trees,
brothers.
too.
Yep.
Yeah, we're strong enough to climb a rope.
You're strong enough to climb this rope?
Besides, we live in a sea town. Sailors shop our wares. We've definitely climbed some rigging in our time.
Right. And so you pull down on the rope. But it's like the rope keeps coming down. As you pull up, you don't get any tension, like as if you can climb, and the rope itself continues to unfurl in front of you. The girl cannot get a grip on the rope either, and the figures move closer towards you.
I pick up the abandoned pitchfork and stab at them.
You stab at one of the figures.
Get away from us.
Dirtying yourself with violence?
Absolutely.
Okay.
What do I roll?
With carnality.
Oh boy. That's an 8.
Okay, so you can choose to either disable them, silence them, or mutilate them. But since you rolled an 8, you also have to choose one. Either vulnerability opens you up to trauma, or your carelessness leaves you in a bad spot.
I'll mutilate them.
Hmm.
And I will open myself up to trauma.
Okay. So, what does that look like, Virgin? What are you doing?
I pick up the pitchfork and adrenaline runs through my body. The urge to beat and push and kill is foreign to me. and I don't even think. I just pierce and cut and stab as many times over and over and over again with blind fury.
Okay. And as you're stabbing these figures that also oppose you with a pitchfork, you leave yourself open. Bride, you have never stabbed anyone in your life. You don't know what you're doing. And your pitchfork gets stuck in one of the figures, and you try to pull back out, and you stumble and you fall, and the pitchfork is now laying on top of you. Silly girl. Why did you try to do that? You don't know how to use these items. Take
I
a
have to
trauma
help the
virgin.
girl. I have to.
I'm actually going to use my face at this point, which is the martyr.
Okay.
And I will take my love to the ends of the world. And I will offer forgiveness for the virgin for not knowing how to fight, because that's not her place.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So it's 1 for 2. So to heal that sister.
Right. Yes. So you will take 1 trauma in order to heal the virgin for 2.
All right.
Yep.
Virgin, who do you pass the ring to?
The Animus.
Animus, would you like to propose a truth?
I think so. And that truth is that this place is not ever going to be our home. It is never going to be somewhere we feel protected. We can't even find our bedroom. And there's this poor child here. So I will take a token of disloyalty.
Mm-hmm.
And the truth is that this place is not safe.
Okay. Okay. Sisters, as you walk out of this room, the child no longer in sight that you have left. What does the bride look like right now?
Why couldn't we take her with us?
Can we? I would like to try.
Please.
I hold her hand and try to take her with us.
And you do try that. You do try to take her hand, but as you close the door and you think she leaves with you, you look back behind you. She isn't there.
Sorry.
What did they do to that girl?
She's not real.
I don't care. Even if it's not real, some fragment of it must be true, right? What did he do to a girl?
I don't know.
He broke her. That's what all of this is. He breaks people, or at least maybe leaves them somewhere for it to be broken.
And so we have collected 3 disloyalty tokens. What was your last token that you've taken with you?
I should have said the child, but I don't think you'd let me do that. The pitchfork.
That is not an object. Tokens
No.
are not objects.
Oh well. The pitchfork.
People. Okay. The pitchfork. Okay, so you're now like a totem like bride with the pitchfork.
Hey, I'm pretty battered at this point. We might as well use it as a walking stick or something.
Just might as well take it. So, we have triggered the final room. You've traveled these dark halls in search of a truth most divisive. Each room provided you with all the evidence you desired to make that one faithful choice. Now you stand before the forbidden final door, and you must decide. Would you like to... You're standing in front of the final room. In the final room, the final door, you're now in the northeast tower. You're standing in front of the door. He's told you not to go inside. It's right in front of you. And it is decorated with beautiful blue sea glass. And it is engraved with beautiful sparrows and songbirds.
He doesn't deserve any of this.
There are sewing needles all over the door, and there's satin that just cloaks the door. You have 3 options, sister. You must choose to either, you can open the door, you can find out maybe what is behind it, or you can choose to run away anew, start somewhere else. Or you can try and see if perhaps all that you've seen in this house might lead to a different outcome for someone else and present the evidence to the town. What? And so this decision must be unanimous amongst all sisters. What would you like to do? Would you like to enter the room, present evidence to the town, or run away and start anew?
What do we get from going beyond this door? Haven't we learned enough? Haven't we seen enough horror?
We might help someone else.
We might help someone else by finding a way to doom this man.
We can go in, maybe learn something. Maybe.
What's one more door?
Because this is the only door he told us not to go into.
Which means
he wanted us to go through the other ones.
No, it means this is the door he wanted us to go through the most.
Yep.
So we should thoroughly disappoint him by not opening it.
Will the town even believe us? We're women. I've learned something here, and that's that no one respects us, do they? No one cares. Except for us. What can we do for ourselves?
You make convincing arguments, witch and virgin. I do like the idea of disappointing this monster, not giving him the satisfaction of making us what he wants. But Mother, what do you think?
If we leave, it won't be to go back home.
No, there's no going home. We'll
No.
need to find somewhere else.
We'll have to do
So-
something else.
It would be to leave. I would like to open the door, but if we go, it is to leave permanently, not to go to anyone else. But
Is
that
it-
means we leave it open to someone else next.
Do we think he'll actually let us leave?
Probably not.
Not willingly.
So if we don't think that we can leave, why not open the door?
It's not that we couldn't leave, it's that it would be difficult. We can still try. Maybe. This man has an obsession with women. Let one escape. Let that torture him for the rest of his days. Let him search endlessly for us. He will find nothing. Let him suffer.
I like how you've grown, Virgin.
I was thinking the same thing.
I can't say I feel the same.
Bride, what is your final decision? Do you want to open the door? Do you want to present evidence to the town? Or do you want to run away and start anew?
Let us flee. Let us take something that can get us farther and farther away. And don't look back. This man has riches. Let him suffer that too.
Is that what everyone wants to do? Because I'm hearing run away and start anew.
The Animus agrees.
The witch agrees.
The Virgin agrees.
The Mother will agree.
Okay. So, you run away and start anew. You go through the front door. It was never locked. You can escape easily. You haven't seen any servants. My first question, and any of you can answer, how does Bluebeard make the bride's family pay for her disloyalty?
My first thought, and it's awful, he comes back and takes one of our younger sisters.
That's exactly my thought too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And he does that. He takes one of your sisters and he will marry them. And they will go through the same ordeal that you have just went. How does the bride convince your sister to marry him?
We don't. Why would we convince him of something like that? Why would we convince her to do something like that?
Sorry, I'm reading the question wrong. How does the bride convince someone else to marry her? Is the question.
Oh, to marry us.
Oh.
Yes, so I'm so sorry.
That's okay. That makes more sense.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm reading multiple questions at once.
We've learned, some of us what we already knew, some of us what the world is like. That you have to take to get anywhere. That there's only protection and power and status.
We present ourselves as strong and look for a man who can accept that.
We find someone who's kind, but maybe not the sharpest tool in the shed, who will let us kind of get away with doing our own thing most of the time.
Yeah, a Garn farmer does not sound so bad.
No. Okay, Gong Farmer. And you do find this nice, dull, boring, poor Gong Farmer.
No, not a gong farmer.
Not a Gong Farmer.
We
Not a Gong Farmer.
take one of the gowns from Bluebeard, cloak ourselves in finery. We steal from jewelry shops. We present ourselves as a fallen noblewoman attacked by bandits. We prey on the feelings of an innocent young nobleman who finds us mysterious, sultry. We marry him. We kill him. And we use his power to destroy Bluebeard.
Oh, sweetie, that is juicy.
You grew up so much.
I'm so proud.
I want him to suffer. I want his pain. Nothing will bring me joy again until he is defeated and lain low and bloody beneath my feet for all that he did.
Oh my,
For all he's
Virgin.
taken from me.
We can sure as hell try.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Why does the bride keep the tokens that she's discovered?
Because
So
the
what-
witch could use them.
So what did we take? We took blood that we wiped into one of our braids. We
Mhm.
took part of a dress. We
Mhm.
took a burnt
piece of
scrap
paper.
of paper
Yep. And a pitchfork.
and a pitchfork
And a dress on the way out.
and a dress.
Let's leave the pitchfork. We'll cut that part of our braid out of our hair and save the other smaller items to use when we need to find Bluebeard again.
Mm-hmm.
Did we take the ring?
You took the ring.
Can we
Or
sell
act-
it?
We can put it all in a little box. And when
Mhm.
the time is right, we can use it to find him.
And speaking of finding him, what loving gesture does Bluebeard make when he finds her?
The bride or her sibling?
The Bluebeard himself?
No, what loving gesture does Bluebeard give to the bride or the sibling when we...
To her, like the bride.
So the implication is he finds us. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think he'd be pretty mad and he'd hand us a dead bird.
choked on sea glass?
Mm.
I was gonna say something with a bird.
Yep. A dead bird. And finally, what memory of Bluebeard's house gives the bride pleasure when it shouldn't?
Being touched in the first room. It's
Sisters.
trauma. But yeah, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, keep going.
It's trauma. It's pain. But it carries with it a note of pleasure. It's complicated.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Along with the ability that after that pain, pleasure that was not entirely understood, we were able to use our own blood to have power in our situation.
Body is the last power that we had to us, but it will not be the only such thing.
Yes. And I believe that's the end. The end of Bluebeard's Bride. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us for Bluebeard's Bride. I recommend taking some time to yourself and taking care of yourself at this time. It is a very heavy game. Thanks to Drive Through RPG and Astral for sponsoring Gehenna Gaming. I really enjoyed playing with all these players, and so thank you so much, everyone. And if everyone could go through where we can find you on the socials again, and anything else, that'd be great. Oh, any final parting words?
Whatever you did to our sister, we're going to do to him.
Some good final last words.
Yeah, this was awesome. Thank you.
That was awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, this is a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Oh, yeah.
Whew. Should we talk about where to find us and stuff?
Yeah, definitely. Talk about where you can find everyone.
All right, who wants to go first?
You can.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm Persephorath. In real life, I am far from this character. In fact, this is like the opposite of the archetype I usually play. I chose not to play the Fatale because I wanted to do something different. You can find me at Persephorath everywhere online. That's Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and more importantly, Twitch. I stream a lot on Twitch almost every day. I also will be having YouTube soon. So if you want to keep up with me, the best way to do is to follow me on TikTok, or I'm sorry, not TikTok. Follow me on Twitch or Twitter.
Okay, yes. Thank you, Persephora and Persephone. And let's take it to the top, Elise.
Hi. My Twitter is, I think, on the screen. Riversong13, I think it is. I tweet random things. I tweet about the stupid things my D&D party does. And there's pictures of a Sharknado I made on my Twitter. So if you're into it, go ahead and follow me. It's random.
Okay.
What?
That was you. You followed me today. So
yes.
I saw the Sharknado and I was like, who is this?
Yeah, no, that's me. I made Sharknadoes for D&D. It was great.
They're great. And let's do Rosie.
Hi, I'm Rosie. If you hang out in the Gehenna Gaming or Carrying Comfort Discord, you might know me as Regular Size Mom. You can find me on Twitter as @mom_sized, which is under my picture. I mostly use Twitter to just retweet stuff that some of the lovely people that I play with do, and to tell you about whatever ridiculous things our Technocrat game has gotten up to, or a vampire game. So yeah, if you're not already in Gehenna Gaming or Carrying Comfort Discord, you should check it out. They're great communities.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Thanks, Rosie. And Crystal.
I'm Crystal Mazer. You can find me at my Twitch handle, which is also below me, which is Body and Soul 152, which is also my Instagram handle. And you can go to my website, which is thegeekypanda.com, where you can see all of the products that I've written on, as well as my education training for being a teacher. You can also find me if you are on Gehenna Gaming Discord. I'm Crystal M. And you can also find me with Darker Days Radio as Crystal M as well.
Amazing. Thank you. And my name's Alex. Thanks you so much to my wonderful players. I am a curated play program GM with Magpie Games. And so I love Bluebeard's Bride. It is my favorite game. And you can also find me on Twitter at Daredevil Alex. If you want some musings on on the things that I love, all TTRPG related, filmmaking related, and how to increase more Asian queerness representation in the media and play. So I want to do one more thing before we get off air. And I really would love to do a debrief with everyone really quickly. So, because I want to know, and I'm sure a lot of people on the stream want to know as well, is name your favorite moment in this game and what was an awesome thing that another character did. And I'll start with Elise.
I really enjoyed how I had no idea what was going on in that aviary room or how to deal with it, because I was just stumped. It was just, I don't know. And I feel like that's one of the things this game is meant to do, is kind of just lock you up a little bit. So that was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed when the Virgin decided to just go at it with the pitchfork.
Amazing. Yes, that was a really good
That
time.
was pretty delightful.
And Rosie.
I really, as weird as it might sound, I loved when we were in the room with Marie and that conversation was happening. It was a really beautiful sequence. So thank you for that. And my favorite moment was at the end when we were kind of wrapping up and we were like, okay, we find this nice guy, we marry him, and then the Virgin's like, oh no, we're taking this sucker down. That felt so good.
Amazing. That is a prime moment. Persephone.
I really enjoyed how the witch took charge, and the witch was one, and the mother were the ones that we relied on when things got really heavy, and that was really nice, especially since I was playing a very naive character.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite moment was with Marie. Yeah.
Okay. Yes, thanks. And Crystal.
And also speaking French.
Speaking French, I was like really quite surprised. I was just like, as a Canadian, most Canadians know a little bit of French. So I was just like, let's see how many people know French. So I was just like, ooh, you speak French back.
Yeah, I used to be borderline fluent. Now I'm just like, mess.
Amazing. I love it. Yeah, like a foreign language throws off people. And I was like, when you talk back to me, I was like, yes, let's have this exchange.
Yes. It was a really cool moment.
It's really fun.
I think one of my favorite things was actually doing the character creation and world building at the same time. As someone who writes and designs games, that's really, really cool, and definitely something that can create a different experience every single time that you play it.
It is really cool.
Yeah, it was neat.
Yeah.
100%.
And then I think, cool. Yeah. And I think my favorite moment was when the witch in the very first room was like, oh no, we take our own blood and we're going to do this thing.
That was a really good moment.
Like, yes, blood magic.
Yes. It was good.
Bring it out early. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. Thank you to all my players for being wonderful aspects of the Bride and really making the story feel alive. Yeah, so that's it from all of us.
Bye.
Bye.